Hello everybody. I wanted to talk to you about pricing of items. A while back I noticed that uh, for some items, for example this winged axe, it looks like there was 3 auctions out there right now. I bought it for 30 gold and I've been trying to sell it let's see, for the last 196 days. So I bought it 196 days ago. And this is one great thing about TSM is it gives you a lot of information, accounting information that can be valuable on what you decide you want to do with an item. I think when I first bought this item, the market value, which would be DB market, was probably close to 100,000. And what I have started implementing, well, let me go back to the problem. So what happens is if you're the only one posting an auction of an item, and it could be a crap item that nobody really wants to know what it looks like. See, it's not a bad transmog item, but I don't think I would particularly want to be using it. So uh, I'm not willing to pay 100,000 gold for something like this. Now I haven't collected this appearance, but for 30 gold, that's actually not a bad deal to buy it. So if you notice that the region sale average is 293 gold. So probably what's happening is you've got lots of people that are taking maybe a default um, operation that they've copied from somebody else, or I think there's one out there that's pretty common. That what I've noticed is that it just keeps upping the value or the perceived value of the price. So if you increase the price by about 10% every time you post it, TSM just sees that information out there, and since nobody's buying it, uh, the market value gets inflated. Um, and then other people on other servers are doing the same thing. So that's why the region uh, numbers are really high. But the region's sale average ends up working out that that's probably closer to what the right value is. So in my uh, in my experience is you kind of want to be reducing your prices over a period of time. So I've actually come up with a formula. So let me back up a little bit. So back over in so I have a custom price called MyBasicAverage. So if you look at under custom sources, MyBasicAverage is I'm averaging out the market. So this is a weighted average. The I use a couple of the DB markets along with the region markets, and then I average in the sale averages. So the sale averages should be helping to force that price to come down to a more reasonable amount. And it may be that if this was 1,000 gold on the auction house, it would sell within a couple of weeks. And that's kind of what you want, is you want your stuff to be moving through, and you want to get to a point where you're farming enough so when you actually go out and farm, you're getting the actual value for what you're farming, instead of, because if something like this, you think, oh, okay, well, I've farmed up 100K worth of items. Well, in actuality, maybe you've gotten 10K or maybe even less than that. And then you don't want to necessarily be listing it, for like I've done here, 196 days. I've got 91 expires on that item. So what I do in my what I also do, so that's one of the reasons why you would want to put in the sale average, include the sale average in your calculating the ideal price. What I do in addition to that is I've come up with a formula, and this is kind of probably where I hit the I don't know what the word to say is. This is where it's like it just clicked that this was the way to go. So I've got a formula here that if the number of expires is greater than a number, then I'll use my minimum rate for the item. So instead of my normal price, it will be basically I will have gotten down to my minimum price. So my minimum price right now is a little under 10,000 gold. Once I hit that, once I hit 120 expires, then I will start using an even lower price. So I'm actively driving the price lower and lower each time, and since there's two other auctions besides myself, I just took this off the auction house, so there's two other people that have this same item. That's probably too many items to be demanding this high of a price, in my opinion. So what ends up happening is as each time this expires, I will lower my price a little bit more, and my maximum price lowers in addition to that. I still keep my same minimum price in the hopes that I will at least get some gold out of it. And you also need to take into account that your deposit costs are pretty high. So for every day this expires without selling, I lose 30% of the vendor price, because that's my the deposit cost is 30% of the vendor price. So it's maybe about 3 gold, which isn't, if it actually ends up selling for 22,000 gold, which would be great. You know, I've more than made back my deposit costs. So getting back, so I've come up with my custom price average that I'm hoping to get for most of my items, and then what I do is I multiply that by basically 1.2% times my other rate. So my normal rate is going to be a little bit higher than just maybe my basic average, whereas so if I end up getting a lot of items in and they start selling a lot, then it's actually my normal price is going to start raising up. So eventually what the idea is behind this is that your prices should oscillate between the high and the low. You know, so you'll eventually get down to where stuff is selling at a regular rate, and if it's easy enough to farm up, especially like materials or something like that, then the items will sell, and since they've sold, the normal price will kind of get pushed up a little bit. So so this is where if you're pricing stuff at maybe 10% higher than what it was previous expiration, then you're going to get your prices start going up and up and up, and you get to the point where you've got something that is not really worth, 100,000 gold is actually worth so once it comes down to the price where it starts selling, it'll start floating back up a little bit. So it kind of oscillates between a range, and I've noticed this on some items where the prices were really high, and then some people come into the market and the prices drop a lot, and then as those other sellers have left the market, since I'm the only one in that that particular item, the prices tend to kind of increase a little bit until after a while they stabilize, and that's what your main goal is to provide stable prices. These are the going rates of items. You know, if something is really high, then I could actually go out and look to see, hey, where can I farm this item? And that's what you're providing a service so that people don't have to go out and farm an item. But if you make your prices way very high, then you're going to actually promote more competition for that item, because other sellers will see that the price is so high that, hey, I'm going to go and farm this item as well. And maybe it's not as uncommon an item as you think it is, and you'll get more sellers into the market, which should actually drive the price down as well. But that's not what I'm seeing with some of the TSM people that are using TSM that are selling things. A lot of people are just have downloaded it, they're using it, and they've kind of got just the basic settings. I think what TSM comes up with, if you start I think if you create a new operation, we can see here the default, they kind of average in the market and the market average. So and if you look, the maximum is so their normal price is 2 times the average. So if a lot of people are probably using this default operation, and they're getting, this is just driving up prices to ridiculous levels that basically you have items that nobody wants for the price that people are offering them for. So it ends up you can actually just go out and farm the stuff yourself in all likelihood. So I just wanted to kind of go over what I'm doing to try to help keep the prices within a reasonable range, and oh, hey, look, I got a sale here. That's awesome. So the idea is to kind of keep a lid on prices getting too high, and and that's where you want to average in your DB region sale average as well. So anyway, let's take a look at that. What we just sold here. So glimmering. So that's actually not a bad price. So that's kind of close to the other prices. And actually, here's an example of something that I also want to make a point of. Is I bought these actually. Let's see. It says here 130 days ago, and I have listed them, so they've expired 9 times. That's kind of strange. So actually I bought 2. So my it looks like my average sale price is going to be around 3,000 or 4,000 gold for 2 of these. So what happens is in these cases, someone maybe new to the game, doesn't know what these items are worth. They don't want to just vendor the items. They don't, maybe they don't have it as a, maybe they have it already as a transmog. So what they do is they want to get more than just the vendor price. So they'll put it out on the market for so like in this, it looks like I've bought 2, one for 1 gold and one for 15 gold. So they'll put them out there, they get a little bit of money more than the vendor price, which is, you know, I call this the garage sale mentality. It's like I'd like to have, I'd like to sell some of the stuff, the junk in my house, but I don't want to just throw it away because that's kind of a waste. It might be useful to somebody, so I want to put it in a garage sale, but it might actually be worth a whole lot more than what I would sell it in a garage sale. So anyway, I'll probably talk about this more in a later video, but that's a good example. So anyway, y'all have a good day. Bye.